Good day. I am Chinky Marie Cornejo Arevalo.
Alan Riarpia.
I am Rachel Machenza.
And I am Jessica Angelica Bautista.
And
And
we are going to talk about Article 8 of Code of Ethics, which is about the teachers and the learners.
According to Article 8, Section 1, a teacher has the right and duty to determine the academic marks and the promotion of learners in the subject they handle. Such determination shall be in accordance with generally accepted procedures of evaluation and measurement. In case of any complaint, teacher concerned shall immediately take appropriate action and observing the process. An educator has the authority and responsibility to assign academic grades and promote students in the subject they teach. Such a conclusion must be made in line with the well-established assessment and measuring procedure. In the event of complaint, the teacher involved must take appropriate action as soon as possible while following the procedure. Sometimes the given academic are not always understood and not easy to understand because of this situation, which is the pandemic, and self-study is still currently facing by the student. Teachers should evaluate and explain everything when it comes to information and ideas, and also help them answer their questions regarding their studies. Teachers should be open and aware with the possibilities that not all students understand, learn, and capable with the given subjects they handle. However, teacher and student should have a good relationship with each other to achieve improvement in students' learning, because there is a saying that the more the students learn, the more teachers succeed. While on the other hand, Article 8, Section 2, a teacher shall recognize that the interest and the welfare of the learners are his and foremost concern, and shall handle each learner justly and impartially. A teacher must acknowledge that the interest and the well-being of students are his priority. He must treat each student fairly and consistently. You are not only a teacher not because you called yourself a teacher. A good educator must always understand every student and help them achieve the improvement that you want for them. You should help them push to become more efficient, hardworking, and creative for them to become a good and responsible student. Teachers should be fair and consistent. They should show interest in teaching. They were told what, when, and how they were teach. Teachers who know how students learn can guide them and lead them for them to grow in their learning. Teachers who know their students as a unique individuals can help them navigate through often confusing and anxiety-filled lives that they lead. That is why it is said to be that the teacher shall recognize the interest and the welfare of every learner and shall handle each student fairly and consistently.
From Article 8, the teachers and the learners, in Section 3, it states that under no circumstance shall a teacher be prejudiced nor discriminated against by the learners. So, in this section, a teacher must look equally in their students and don't discriminate other students by having a favoritism among the students. A teacher must look equally and give a high quality of education for her all students. For example, a teacher teach an IP student, so she needs to give a good quality of education, same as she given for her student, because teacher is responsible for the learning of the students. In this section, in Section 4, it states that teachers shall not accept favors or gifts from learners, their parents, or others in their behalf in exchange for requested concessions, especially if undeserved. So, it is true that teachers should not accept any gifts from learners or parents just for the exchange for requested concessions, and especially if it is not deserved by the learners. So, for example, a learner got failed grades in your subject and give you a favors or gifts in order to pass that learners. So it is not unethical because a teacher must look equally for their learners, and teachers is the one who can be a role model of their students. A teacher must show a good values that can adapt by her students. So in this section 5, it states that teacher shall not accept directly or indirectly any remuneration from tutorials other what is authorized for such service. It is not ethical to be paid by the student for tutoring one's own student, but it is unethical to be paid by the student for tutoring if that student is not your student. It is certainly ethical to be paid by the school district to offer after-school tutoring to anyone who attends.
So, based on the Section 6 of the Article 8 of the Code of Ethics, this states that the teacher shall evaluate the learner's work on merit and quality of academic performance. So, this includes any form of assessment tools that can help you to measure your students' progress. And also, this can also help you to know if your teaching strategies are effective or you have to make some improvements from it. While on the Section 7, this states that in a situation where mutual attraction and subsequent love develop between the teacher and the learner, the teacher shall exercise utmost professional discretion to avoid scandal, gossip, and preferential treatment of the learner. So the teacher should act as a professional, because he or she should avoid having relationship with his or her students, because this will affect his profession and can make some scandal throughout the school. And that is something that we have to avoid as a teacher.
And for the Article 8, Section 8, it is stated there that the teacher shall not inflict corporal punishment on offending learners, nor make deductions from their scholastic ratings as punishment for acts that are clearly not manifestation of poor scholarship. For example, there is this certain student who punched his classmate, and then the advisor or the teacher who is assigned to manage the situation must only take action by talking with the student to know why did he do it and let him know that his doings are bad. The teacher must not punish the student by embarrassing him in front of many people or degrading him in front of his classmates. Also, the teacher is not allowed to make deductions from his grades in order to punish him. A teacher shall impose to his students that violence is not the solution to every problems or difficulties. The teacher must impose to his students that in every situation or chaos happening, the best solution is to understand, comprehend, and take action as soon as possible in a correct way. And last but not the least is the Article 8, Section 9. It is stated there that a teacher shall ensure that conditions contributive to the maximum development of learners are adequate and shall extend needed assistance in preventing or solving learners' problems and difficulties. For example, in a classroom, not all students are capable of picking up lessons quickly. So, in order for them to pick up the lessons, the teacher must do something or have a technique. For example, this certain student is learning lessons quickly by having mnemonics. So, the teacher must use mnemonics in terms of dealing with this certain student. Another is that a teacher must not only focus on the academic performance of the student, he or she must also consider the emotional state of his or her learners. An example of this is that if a student is not emotionally stable, a teacher must do an action for him not only to improve his or her academic performance, but also to improve himself as an individual to communicate and socialize with other people.